Coming up next on the Jeff Crilley Show, residential real estate seems to get all the headlines, but the real money is looking at commercial real estate. That's next.
Many are predicting that the worst is yet to come, which is unfortunate, said one person here. Until now, they've enjoyed the reputation of being the nation's icebox.
Watched a burglar in his home this morning by webcam.
As a journalist of over 25 years, stories are what make my world turn.
Reporting live from the Dallas newsroom tonight, Jeff Crilley, Fox 4 News.
But in 2008, I took the jump from my familiar life and started a PR firm from my home.
We're talking about anyone with a camcorder like the one I'm using becomes a television network.
We started slowly growing the company, and we now have over 100 clients, and we've branched into the world of live digital broadcasting. I now own 8 different TV studios and have a huge team, and the stories that I now get to share are sometimes the most important of my life. Life has a funny way of coming around full circle. This is the Jeff Crilley Show.
Well, the media, as you know, is obsessed with residential real estate. You can barely watch the news without somebody talking about home prices and mortgages and rates and stuff like that. But I think the smart money is looking at commercial real estate, and there is not a market hotter than Texas for commercial real estate. To talk about that today, Russ Webb, he is the CEO of Silver Oak Commercial Realty. Thank you for coming on the show.
Hey, you bet, Jeff. Thank you for having me.
Very cool. Well, I'm excited to learn your story. How did you get into real estate?
Well, my dad started his own real estate firm in Abilene, Texas in 1976, David Webb Realtors. And he kind of was in my blood at an early age, showing houses and seeing how my dad started his own company. My mom and dad worked very hard. And so it was just in my blood that was one of the things that I wanted to do. I didn't get into real estate straight out of college. I wish I had, but I started in 1990. I came to Dallas in 1992 and got in the commercial real estate business with Stream Realty a month and a half before 9/11.
Wow. What is the secret when it comes to real estate investing? You and I were talking before the show, and I moved to Dallas in 92, and I said, man, I wish I had bought some land off the tollway or off of Preston. Do you really have to look like 10 years, 20 years in the future?
Well, we used to have a saying, and my dad used to tell me and my brother, be in the way of progress, and I think that's what you could say in Frisco or anywhere here really in Dallas-Fort Worth, whether you go east, north, south, or west towards Abilene. And I just think that, being in the way of progress, and especially now that COVID has happened, that's been a huge change in our whole industry.
Yes, and you mentioned that you just recently got into ranches. Tell us about that.
Well, during COVID, we own investment property, we own ranch property. My family started in the ranching business in Throckmorton years ago. My great-great-grandfather came there in 1900s. And, it was always been in my blood, but I used to refer it out. But during COVID, I was stuck in Throckmorton, and I had several people say, hey, would you want to sell my farm and ranch? So I ended up selling during COVID 4 ranches. And now I've got a big ranch, a 1,200-acre ranch, the Boyd Ranch, that we have listed. Hopefully we'll be under contract here shortly. That we're probably going to sell in the next 30 days. So it's one of those niche markets that I really didn't look for, but due to COVID, it happened.
Sure, and I hear stories about people who just want wide open spaces now, and so they're really looking into the country like they never had before.
Absolutely, and we're getting calls from out of state, New York, California, all over, people wanting to come to Texas and just wanting to have their own piece of the country, so to speak, just to get out of the big city. And so we're filling a lot of those calls, and a lot of that's due to COVID. A lot of it's due to our political climate that we're in right now.
Yeah, and to know that you can work from any place, and so having a nice ranch someplace in Texas, and you're on your laptop, working in any state you want.
Well, and one of the things since COVID, my partners and I have always been in the third-party leasing. Office has taken a hit, so has retail. Industrial's been very favorable, so is farm and ranch, and so is multifamily.
Yeah.
So those are the 3 facets of real estate that have really increased, so to speak, since COVID happened.
I was on your website and we found the different kinds of properties you work with, and they're just some beautiful properties. Tell us, is there a, do you prefer the ranch, the commercial, where are you focusing most of your efforts?
You know, a lot of what we're doing right now is we're doing a lot of medical is popular right now. So we've worked with some medical developers for the last 20 years. And we, as you see right there, we do a lot of the standalone buildings in mid-cities, Northeast Tarrant County and Denton County, Fort Worth, where, you know, because interest rates are so low right now on the commercial side that people are find it's better to buy their own building or own piece of property where they occupy that. And they can also write that off as an investment. But also the investor market, you're seeing a lot of people from California, a lot of people on a 1031 that are coming in and looking for different type of investment properties, whether it's retail, office, they're looking for cash flow.
Sure.
And they may be looking for farm and ranch to hold for 4 or 5 years and hold it and then sell it.
Yeah.
And so that's kind of what you're seeing in this immediate market.
And Russ, I know you take a long-term perspective on your clients. I mean, some people in whatever industry you're in are kind of a deal, let's do a deal and let's move on. And you're really looking at, okay, let's do several deals over the course of time.
We have clients that we've had for 20, 25 years that we've sold their properties or we've leased their properties for 20, 25 years. And some of them we've turned 2, 3, 4 times.
Wow.
And it's incredible. And then they'll call us and say, hey, we're going to build another development. We want you to market this commercial medical property for us. So we've been blessed to have those kind of clients that are repeat clients over the last 20 years since we've been in the business.
And you don't get repeat clients unless you're thinking of the client first. And that's what I love about what you're doing.
Absolutely. I tell everybody and all our clients, we don't look at a property unless it's something that we would buy ourselves or look at it from a due diligence, all the aspects you have to have on a building, check the roof, check
Right.
the HVAC, foundation. Are there any title issues? You know, who are some of the best commercial lenders that you need to call on? So those things that we try to supply our clients with, and if it's not a good deal, we tell them not to do it.
Yeah. Well, I love the hard work ethic that you have from your family and the integrity piece, because right now I think we're in an age where we're all seeking transparency and honesty, and you don't have to shop 15 different people. You just want one person who tells the truth.
Absolutely. That's going to tell you exactly where to spend your money, how to spend your money, and how you would spend the money, and not just to take a listing, to have a listing, to put a sign up or whatever. That's what we try to thrive on, is that we wouldn't buy anything or lease anything or do anything that we wouldn't do ourselves, that we want our clients to have the best opportunity, and that's why we have a lot of repeat business.
Sure. Okay, so final question. Is this a good time to get into commercial real estate?
Oh, absolutely. And I think if people will look outside some of the smaller submarkets, like I was saying, towards Abilene, Wichita Falls, up north all the way to the Red River, I think for someone to buy some land and hold it for 3 or 4 years and either keep it, improve it, or sell it would be the best thing to do right now.
I think you're right. I've heard the same thing, that some of those secondary markets are about to explode. So
And
congratulations.
again, because of COVID, I think you're seeing a lot of that.
Yeah. All right. Russ Webb, thank you for coming on
Jeff,
the show.
thank you.
We're going to end with your website, which is silveroakcre.com. Thank you for coming on the show.
You bet. Thank you,
bet.
Jim. Bye-bye.
That's it for now. We'll see you next time.